have a very interesting topic to discuss. The topic is philanthropy in India and specifically in Delhi. But before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Tatiana and I'm from Belarus. I've been living in this wonderful city for the past 3 years. And of course, just like many foreigners who come to this country, I was a little bit shocked in the beginning. Why? Well, because of the contrast, because of this divide between the rich and the poor. And unfortunately, that poor part is a little bit too obvious here. You feel like there are so many people kind of suffering, well, personal judgment, so you naturally tend to be willing to help them. So I started investigating and I asked a lot of people what can be done, what should be done. And the answers were even more shocking because some people answered to say that you should go and help and do as much as you can. Even your presence will make a difference. However, the other half told me, no, don't go because already government is doing so much and some people are there who just don't need to be helped. But I got completely confused. I did not know which opinion to stick to, so I decided to investigate. I visited a lot of NGOs, I went to different slums, and lucky me, I met somebody very special. Her name is Anjali and she's 22 years old. She was born and brought up in a very poor family in the slum in South Delhi. Let's start and let's get to know Anjali a little bit better.
My name is Anjali. You told me
You are?
I am 22 years.
Now you started
My own business.
Before we go on with her story, we wanted to understand a little bit more about the conditions that she lived in. And I know there's a lot of foreigners who come and they want to film and they want to show the real India, but of course we only see the surface. So for example, we went a couple of months ago, we've been filming there as well, and what everybody noticed that the area is actually very clean inside the slum, but it's not that clean outside.
And that is that the people think that why should I clean? The government is paying the employer. What are they doing? They work their work so they can cleaning
So
the
there's
outside.
always somebody else to do
the things.
the job.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. What about shower and bathrooms? And the reason why I'm asking about it because on the news it's always a big thing about building bathrooms for the different societies.
No, political says that we are doing that thing in only the weeks, like in the voting time they do saying things and doing, but not actually happening there. But but now the things is going much better. I think 1 week before I went there and I found something new in there, like paying toilet. The paying toilet is that the toilet is now washed and clean, that is properly neat and clean. There has water.
And you're saying that's a paid toilet?
Yeah, paid
so
toilet.
People don't have toilets inside their rooms, it's only like the toilet for the whole community?
Yeah, there is a 2 toilets there.
And how much is to use?
Like 2 rupees. One time use they give 2 rupees.
2 rupees?
Yeah, everyone. Not children, ladies and elder peoples.
Shower facilities?
Shower inside their home, they have home.
I've hosted so many people coming to this city, the ones who actually wanted to go and see the slum area where I was helping, and the very common question that they asked, is that an actual address for people? Is that something that they can rent out, or is that something completely disorganized?
Now at that time, now the rent is like mostly 4,000.
Okay.
Like that.
And how big is the room?
Big and not much. In 4,000 we get the room is 12 by 9.
And what about the upper floor, the lower floor? Is that cheaper upstairs or downstairs?
No, that do not affect that.
Because I noticed you don't have the staircases, it's only the ladders that lead upstairs.
Yeah, that do not matter. The only matter is the size of the room and the condition of the room.
So I also wanted to know, why do people actually come and live in the slums? Where do these people come from?
The people who live in village area, they didn't have employment, then they come in Delhi and they live in slum area. Yeah.
And from where? From which place in India? North India or?
Like in that, and which slum that I was live, there is a North Indian people, most like North and South, the mixing of people, but the mostly have South Indian people.
People come from all over India, different people, so there must be different religions too, different castes and different languages. How do they survive together? Is that okay?
Everybody live together there.
If there is any issue with living
No,
together?
there is no issue of living there. Caste do not matter there. Not discrimination of caste there. The people live happily with each other.
So now we know that most people who come and live in the slums are from the rural areas, from the villages, and they come to the city for a job. And you would think that there is a job for everyone. I'm not too sure because there are so many people in Delhi. But what kind of jobs do they actually do?
People have job many kinds, like some are drivers, maids. There are small play school teachers also we had, and the children are CA. They're like chartered accountants.
And chartered accountants also.
Yeah,
That's not a bad salary, I think. I'm assuming.
Yeah, they are good salary.
So why do people choose to stay in the slum if they earn enough money?
Some they love some slum area, or we can say that they do not want to leave that area. Attachment like feelings, and the basic reason I found there is that they save money for the future, for their children, to their marriage.
I think you mentioned the hiding the money.
Yeah.
So that nobody would assume that the person living in the slum would have the money, right?
Yeah.
So is that something like a dowry that you have to pay if you're getting your daughter married off? Is that still something that's happening in India?
Like happening, but in arranged marriage only. Like in love marriage, there is no traditional of or custom of dowry or things.
But how often is a love marriage? I don't think that's a really often case for the slum society.
I found there is a probability of 40 or 60%. Like 60% is arranged, 40 is love marriage in that.
I was quite shocked to find out that there's a lot of love marriages taking place right now, even in the poorer societies, because the impression is that they're a little bit more traditional, a little bit more simple, and everything goes as it should be. But the next topic is even more incredible: early marriages. It is absolutely illegal to marry anyone in this country before the age of 18. How early do girls get married? Is that the early marriages, or is that now is changing as well? What is the average age?
Average, I find that early marrying in slum area. Like in most of the time that if the girl has affected by some bad influence or something, then the parents think that marriage is the best way to get her out of this. Then the parents go to village and got the child to go to marriage.
But for me, the early marriage is about 18, 19, because I think that's early age to get married. But in the case of a slum situation, what is the early?
Early is like that. If the child, I found that the 15 years is, because recently my sister's friend, who she is mostly, I found that 15-year-old, she got married 1 month ago.
Oh God, but this is so early, and I believe that this is quite illegal in the country. It should not be happening right now.
Yeah, it is illegal in country, but there is in village, the parents take to the village. They get married to the child. Because in village area there is no restriction, or the people can't say anything. Yeah, people also support them. The neighbors also support.
So nobody's reporting this.
Yeah, reporting it, and basically it is the base of police, that if something is happening in the city, they had to check what is happening. In the most of the cases, I found that they had to check the marriage is happening, the girl is 18-year-old or not. Because
and why do parents want them to get married so early? Just they want to get them settled.
Yeah, parents think that the girl is to only work in house. She only knows to be cooking, washing, only doing household work.
And okay, I understand the girls 15, 16. What about the boys? Are they as young when they get married?
No, the boys are mostly, some have their job, or some who do things. I found the girl who's married, if there is a girl who is 15-year-old, then boys will be 23, 26 or more than.
And this is still happening?
It's still happening.
Every day?
Every day.
I think all of us would agree that education, especially primary education, is very important to each and every one of us. Currently in India, there is 74% literacy rate, well, thanks to Google, who just told me the statistics, and obviously that's not enough. However, in this country, the primary education is actually free of charge for everyone in the government schools. Unfortunately, for the population, for the amount of people and children, there is not enough schools. And what about the kids in the slum area itself these days? Has anything changed? Do everybody get primary education?
Yeah, these days everyone get primary study, but not like the dropout. Some people also drop that school.
Any other reasons why kids do not go to school anymore?
Discrimination. People think that the girl should be married. She should get married, and that's why the mostly girl is not doing.
Do they make them work as well if they are not married?
Yeah, they make work them.
What about your case? You've been living with your mother, I understand, and your sister. So she was a single mother who brought two of you up. The question is, I understand that there are some people who hide the money and they might have a few lakhs of rupees somewhere hidden. But in your case, you come from the family which really could not really afford much. Your mother, what was she doing?
She like in morning she go to another house for cooking. After I find 1 p.m. she sit and out street and start teaching.
What was so special about Anjali? How did she manage to get educated, to enroll herself in college? How was she so lucky? I understand that Dr. Suman, she's the founder of the NGO called Shanti Sayok. She was the one who found you and who sent you to school along with about 8 others, right?
Yeah.
So that changed your life, I believe?
Yeah, that is the most change. I greatly thank Suman ma'am for helping me. It's properly changed my life.
What about the rest of the girls or boys who have been sent to school with you? Are they all as successful as you are?
Right now, most of them are left or drop out.
Okay, so you are the superstar out of the whole batch, I believe. Who should be helped really and how?
I find that child should be get primary education if the child is in 9th or 10th class, give them proper guidance. Their parents also, because sometimes child wants to be study, parents do not support. So that we have to give the mostly is that parents should be guidance that yes, they should support their child and do not be sent or say that child should not be get educated. Mostly girl that she had to marriage or something. But yeah.
So it's all about the parents. We need to, if we want to help, it's really important to
educate the parents. Yeah.
And what about kids themselves? Like, how do we know which one deserves to be sent to school? And
we have primary is the most important. In the 8th, we have the child has the majority and mindset of that yes, she wants to be study and she wants to become something in life. By that there is a use of this or something with like in government. Our government is finding that the girl should be 12th pass or 18-year-old, then she get the 1 lakh or 50,000 money.
Oh, that's very generous.
From this influence help the people and the parents send their girls to school. They have to pass and 12th and get the money. This means that by this the people think children are getting educated.
So like it's a good incentive for the girls to finish school. It doesn't apply for boys, right?
It doesn't apply for boys.
Well, that's a good thing, because the boys are more likely to. Education is a great start, but what else can we do? So when we are helping children, like for example purely volunteers or sponsors who really have the money and they want to go and help a child, what is your advice for this kind of people? What advice can you give them? Who they should be helping, how they should be doing it?
I find that the person who want to be help them is properly that sometimes that employment is mostly affect that the parents do not have their proper wages or salary. That's why they send their children to not go to school or go to work. That is the most reason. And first, and another thing is change the mindset of a parents. That parents should be allow their child to be go study and not do that kind of work, properly focus on education. That is the most way. And other thing that you want to be helped, then support the needy children, because some are not needed also, some are needed, most of them. Yeah,
I understand. So but what about, like, okay, fine, if educational programs in any way would be the best thing to do.
Best thing, yeah.
So even if you, as a foreigner, for example, if you come and you can speak English with the kids, you can get them to train and practice their English, would be a great idea.
Great idea, that thing.
And then helping in terms of monetary and in terms of items and things like this, we just really need to do our homework to find out who exactly is there.
Needed.
Because in the whole slum, it doesn't mean that they're all needy, right?
Yeah.
Everything. And the best thing is to give to a person who could possibly distribute, as I understand, and they will decide who to go with to. Because I understand some people do get insulted by donations like that.
Yeah, some people.
They believe it's superstition that the bad energy will come.
Negative vibes are coming in their house.
Yeah. But not everyone, I guess.
Not everyone.
Oh, and I totally had to ask this question. There's a general misconception, like the understanding that when we donate things, and this is what I was personally been told as well, that if you donate something to slum kids, their parents will take it and sell it. Is that actually true?
No, it is not true.
Interesting questions, huh? However, before I ask the final question that really bothered me the most, I just want to give an opportunity to Anjali to speak a little bit about her business, about herself. Don't be shy right now, because you're at the beginning of establishing your business at the age of 22 without any initial income, initial investment that you don't have. What is there, if there's anybody who can probably see us and who can hear this video, maybe there is somebody who can help you out with what you do. If there's anything specific that you need for your business or any...
Basically, I need an investor.
Which would be the ideal situation, and if not, I'm sure you're not going to give up. Maybe if there's anyone who can, who knows of somebody to provide the office, that would be really grateful for this opportunity. Everything else, Anjali, don't worry, she'll do on her own. Finally, time for the question, because Live Talk Delhi, it's all about expat community, about all of us living here in the city and having our own perspectives and our own views. So I had to ask this. I have a question about foreigners here in Delhi, because a lot of us come here and we see quite a lot of poverty, I'll be really frank with you, and we all want to help, like, oh my god, should not be happening, in my country is this, in my country is that, so we want to change the world, we want to help people.
Yeah, but the people thinking that they find that the white faces are coming, they think that foreigners only represent the bad thing of our country. They did not represent our education, or we say development or achievements of our country. They find that they do not are useful for them. They find
also we come and we film the slum, we come and only see poor people, and then we tell everybody that it's only this in India.
Only this in India. They did not represent the achievements of India or better condition of India. They find this kind of thing. They have the mind thought that they are only things.
But do they appreciate foreigners coming for kids? And
yeah, some people appreciate, because if the opportunity some are getting, they also realize that not all the represent only bad thing. They also find that that is the things.
So we should keep on coming and spending time with. I hope so.
Yeah, really.
I hope you all enjoyed this interview, because it was her personal perspective, the person who was literally born and brought up in the area. She has no reason to give me the faulty information. But of course, that does not mean that every slum is the same. It doesn't mean that every person is the same. It doesn't mean that one view is correct. And I hope you took the best out of it. And what I personally understood from her story, that yes, you should be helping, you should never stop. However, you should really think of how to do it. You have to plan it, because it's not just by giving something one time. It's not something that you can purchase and, save your karma and so on, because sometimes it does not make a difference. But sometimes it makes a difference for a lifetime. It changes everything completely. So what you need to do is to actually get a little bit deeper deeper in the situations, get to know the children, get to know the people who you're helping, find out what is it they need. Do they need a job? Do they need education? Do they need new clothes? Do they need some medical treatment? There's a lot of different scenarios, and you can be the one helping them. And I hope you will be encouraged to do a little bit more for the community here in Delhi and all over India and anywhere else you are in the world, because there are always some needy people. So don't fall for the stereotypes that there are people who don't want to be helped. All right, well, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.